Welcome back to another honest smartphone review, and today I have here for you the Huawei Mate 10 Lite. And I have the question everyone's asking: how light exactly is it? Stay tuned and you'll find out. The Mate 10 Lite certainly has the modern aspect of specs, coming in at 6-inch, 18:9 Full HD Plus display, 4 cameras, 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of onboard storage, and the fast Kirin 659 octa-core CPU inside. And it does also come with that headphone jack everybody else wants, but it does have just a single speaker and a micro USB port in a $300 phone in late 2017. At least it does have the dual nano SIM and expandable storage, and the metal back, which kind of looks like a $200 phone instead of a $300 plus. The display, however, on the phone is really nice, and the 18:9 really helps with one-hand usage. This is a 6-inch device which you can definitely use with one hand, and it's nice for Huawei to actually pack a screen protector from the box on the phone, and the fingerprint scanner is blazing fast as usual from Huawei. The phone is 7.5mm thick and it's very light at 160 grams, and it's it is exactly like the Honor 7X with just a different camera setup on the back. And let's see what else you get inside the box. You get a warranty card, a nice plastic case for it, although a bit cheapish one, but the really awkward thing is in there. Well, Huawei wanted to put some headphones in, but they've opted to put like the really horrible, really cheap headphones. I think they just shouldn't have bothered really at this price point. It does come with a micro USB cable and Huawei's fast charger. This is not a supercharged charger, but it does get the phone charged in around 2 hours with a 3400 mAh internal battery, which is not replaceable. And as I said, the micro SD card slot, you can do dual nano SIMs or one nano SIM with up to 256 gigs of onboard storage. The Kirin 659 is a very good mid-range CPU, on par if not better than the Snapdragon 625. It goes to 2.4 GHz with 4 cores and 1.8 GHz with the other 4 cores as well. And here you can see the display really is Full HD Plus, and there is a 16 megapixel camera on the back, 13 megapixel on the front there, accompanied by 2 megapixel sensors for depth of field. That's right, this is not the dual cameras like Huawei P9, but more like the Chinese devices just for that depth of field effect. And very awkwardly, the Mate 10 Lite, like the Honor 7X, does not have a gyroscope sensor, which means you cannot view VR, cardboard videos and 360 videos, which for me is totally unacceptable at an above $300 price phone. And it doesn't even have NFC like the Mate 10. It is running EMUI 5.1 on top of Android Nougat with the September security patch, and Huawei have definitely said that Mate 10 Lite will receive an Android Oreo update with EMUI 8, but this is in 2018. As far as EMUI goes, it's one of the best Android skins out there because it allows so much customizations, like for instance not having or having an app drawer. It has plenty of free themes, wallpapers inside. You can choose to wake the screen on notifications. You can have which apps use the 18:9 ratio and which don't. If you don't want to use it or something, you can change the font size, display size, and you even have a blue light filter for reading. Notifications are separate per app and you can expand them or keep them just for information. You can also have the display light up on notifications, which is something that I know most of you really love, and the navigation keys can also be hidden or changed if that is your thing. EMUI that is very nice, and of course the fingerprint scanner gestures return, since this does have a rear fingerprint scanner. You can swipe down to pull down the notification panel, and you can swipe left and right to view photos in your gallery. And here is the sound quality of the speaker of the Mate 10 Lite. Speaker quality for me is very decent, but there are better sounding devices, and with the headphone jack as well at this price point. The display on this phone, however, is actually very good. The color reproduction is good, but I think you can find a bit better phones out there, but the display gets very bright and it's definitely good for viewing outside, and it does have very deep blacks for an IPS panel. But the main attraction here is that 18:9 or full screen, full view, full display, whatever you want to call it, feature, and as such that's really great. The phone actually can record 18:9 videos and photos, but in lower resolution than the original ones. There isn't that much 18:9 content on YouTube, but YouTube have promised to update almost every clip in there to support 18:9, since this is kind of like the new standard for all mobiles out there. And when it comes to performance, the Mate 10 Lite is very light compared to its Mate 10 brother, scoring at 2-3 times less in benchmarks and in real life performance. What again puzzles me is that the Honor 7X is essentially the same phone. As you can see, benchmarks one after the other are absolutely almost the same, with like very small differences, and the Honor 7X costs more than $100 less than the Mate 10 Lite. The battery life on the Mate 10 Lite and as well as the Honor 7X was very good. This is a very fine battery phone. You can get around 9 to 10 hours of screen on time on a 6-inch Full HD Plus display with a single charge, which is something you don't really expect from big display devices. So battery life on the Mate 10 Lite is amazing. As far as GPS goes, the Kirin 659 is still behind the Kirin 950 and 960. Wi-Fi and 4G connectivity on the devices were up to par with mid-range devices at this price point, and for me there was no issues with connectivity or call quality using the Mate 10 Lite. But how about actual daily performance? Is the Mate 10 Lite fast, and is the Kirin 659 just as good? Well, the answer here is actually yes. The Kirin 659 and Mate 10 Lite is an excellent daily driver, opening heavy apps very quickly, switching between them, and split screen multitasking or heavy multitasking with lots of apps open in the background do not slow the Mate 10 Lite down one bit. So the Kirin 659 has definitely improved the performance compared to previous like Kirin 650, 655, especially when it comes to opening the apps quickly and switching between lots of apps in multitasking. It's very nice that you get such good daily driver performance in multitasking from this device. However, devices like the Xiaomi A1 with Snapdragon 625 offer the same, if not better, performance in general, multitasking and daily performance as the Kirin 659. So I can't say this is best in class, but definitely worthy of the price when it comes to daily performance. And next up, we'll have, of course, detailed gaming tests. Is the Mate 10 Lite really good for gaming? I just want to insert a comment here. The Mate 10 Lite will run any medium to low, like casual 3D game with blistering frame rates. However, if you put on something with heavy 3D, because of the higher than Full HD resolution, the Kirin 659 starts to lose frames, slow down, and it's really not the best gaming chip out there. It even struggles with games like Mortal Kombat 5, and especially if you're playing something really heavy like Into the Dead 2, you can just forget. It's just like a slow motion animation here, just that the frame rate is very low. So the Manatee 830 in the 659 is not a great gaming chip, so definitely don't go for that if you're looking for a more gaming oriented device. But what about cameras? 4 cameras, are they really that good? Oh, as far as feature goes, the Mate 10 Lite does have all the features like portrait mode, wide aperture mode, moving picture, and it does also have a front light facing flash and like pro photo, slow motion, everything you have in Mate 10 or any flagship Huawei device. However, the sensors are not as good, and you don't have 2 cameras which are the same sensor, but just have one very good sensor and the other is a small 2 megapixel one for depth of field. But in general, how are the photos? In good light, the photos look very good. There's plenty of detail, especially if you're shooting macro shots. The camera just loves those macro shots and does excel in them in good lighting conditions. However, when the lighting conditions start to count down, you can definitely see that f2.2 aperture starts to show its weakness as noise starts to creep in and use a lot of detail, because there really isn't any optical or electronic image stabilization. As being said, low light shots are decent, but I really do think that we have to expect more from $300 devices in late 2017. For instance, the Meizu M6 Note is a far superior camera phone and at around $50–60 less. So the Mate 10 Lite is a decent and very feature-rich camera phone, but it's not the best out there, and the front camera without that selfie flash is just as good as any other 8 megapixel shooter out there in around $200–220 devices. But the front light flash really does make a good difference. Well, about video quality, both cameras shoot full HD video, and it's really quite okay. Even in low light conditions, the video is for me very usable, but it's just a bit too shaky because it doesn't have any image stabilization. It is again a $300 phone, but the good thing is that even in low light there is no lag or stuttering in the video, and the front camera's 1080p video is actually more stable than the main camera one, so it's very good for vlogging. And now let's wrap it all up for the Huawei Mate 10 Lite. Is it too light? The Mate 10 Lite, if you want to get it, is an excellent phone if you're looking for great battery life, 80:9 display, light and thin device with great daily driver performance and very feature-rich camera experience. However, for me it's too light at this price point because there is no 4K video, no gyroscope, no NFC USB Type-C, low light shots are not good, and the Honor 7X is essentially the same phone and costs more than $100 less, so it is too light in my books. Thank you for watching my video review. Give it a thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe to my channel for more honest, in-depth reviews.
Stick around.